Hello everyone, in this session we are going to discuss reading comprehension. This is exercise passage 8. Let's begin. The index is exercise question based on passage 8 along with answers and explanation and summary as well. The disclaimer is the images used in our slide deck are for educational purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this deck and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathee@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. The directions are: read the following passages carefully and answer the given questions. Certain word phrases are given in bold in the passages to help you locate them while answering some of the questions. Questions are to be answered on the basis of the information provided in the passage, and you are not expected to rely on outside knowledge of a particular topic. Your own views or opinions may sometimes conflict with the views expressed or the information provided in the passage. Be sure that you work within the context of the passage. You should not expect to agree with everything you encounter in reading passages. You should analyze the passage carefully before answering the accompanying questions. Look for clues that will help you understand less explicit aspects of the passage. Try to separate main ideas from supporting ideas or evidence. Note transitions from one idea to the next, and examine the relationships among the different ideas or parts of the passage. For example, are they contrasting? Are they complementary? Consider the points that the author made, the conclusion drawn, and how and why those points are made or conclusion are drawn. Read each question carefully and be certain that you understand exactly what is being asked. Always read all the answer choices before selecting the best answer. The best answer is the one that accurately and completely answers the questions being posed. Be careful not to pick an answer choice simply because it is a true statement. Be careful also not to be misled by answer choices that are only partially true or only partially satisfy the problem posed in the question. The methodology of eliminating wrong answers also work here. It simply means that if you are unable to judge the right choice or right answer, cross the answers that are incorrect. In this way, if there remains one answer to be crossed, that will be the correct answer. I hope you have understood all the directions. Let's move to the questions. Question number 1. And the passage is: once upon a time there was a rich merchant who had 4 wives. He loved the fourth wife the most and adorned her with rich robes and treated her to delicacies. He took great care of her and gave her nothing but the best. He also loved the third wife very much. He was proud of her and always wanted to show her off to his friends. However, the merchant was always in great fear that she might run away with some other man. He loved his second wife too. She was a very considerate person, always patient, and in fact was merchant's confidant. Whenever the merchant faced some problems, he always turned to his second wife, and she would always help him out and tide him through difficult times. Now the merchant's wife was a very loyal partner and had made great contributions in maintaining his wealth and business, as well as taking care of the household. However, the merchant did not love the first wife, and although she loved him deeply, he hardly took notice of her. One day the merchant fell ill. Before long, he knew that he was going to die soon. He thought of his luxurious life and told himself, now I have 4 wives with me, but when I die, I'll be alone. How lonely I will be. Thus he asked the fourth wife, I love you most, adored you with the finest clothing and showered great care over you. Now that I am dying, will you follow me and keep me company? No way, replied the fourth wife, and she walked away without another word. The answer cut like a sharp knife right into the merchant's heart. The said merchant then asked the third wife, I have loved you so much for all my life. Now that I am dying, will you follow me and keep my company? No, replied the third wife. Life is so good over here. I am going to remarry when you die. The merchant's heart sank and turned cold. He then asked the second wife, I always turn to you for help, and you have always helped me out. Now I need your help again. When I die, will you follow me and keep me company? I'm sorry, I can't help you out this time, replied the second wife. At the very most, I can only send you to your grave. The answer came like a bolt of thunder, and the merchant was devastated. Then a voice called out, I will leave with you. I'll follow you no matter where you go. The merchant looked up, and there was his first wife. She was so skinny, almost like she suffered from malnutrition. Greatly grieved, the merchant said, I should have taken much better care of you while I could have. Actually, we all have 4 wives. in our lives. The fourth wife is our body. No matter how much time and effort we lavish in making it look good, it will leave us when we die. Our third wife is our possessions, status, and wealth. When we die, they all go to the others. The second wife is our family and friends. No matter how close they had been to us when we are alive, the furthest they can stay by us is up to the grave. The first wife is in fact our soul, often neglected in our pursuit of material, wealth, and sensual pleasure. It actually the only thing that follows us wherever we go. Perhaps it is a good idea to cultivate and strengthen it now rather than to wait until we are in our deathbed to lament. I hope you understood the passage. Let's move to the questions. Which of the following is possible not to characteristics of the first wife as given in the passage? Options are caring, beautiful, thin, loyal. All of the above are characteristics of the first wife. You have 10 seconds to answer. I hope you have done so. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is too beautiful. And the explanation is in the passage. The first wife is described primarily as a loyal partner who made significant contribution to the merchant's wealth and household. While her loyalty and contributions are emphasized, there is no mention of her beauty. In fact, the passage notes that she was so skinny, almost like she suffered from malnutrition, which suggests a lack of emphasis on beauty. The other options, caring, thin, and loyal, are characteristics that are either directly stated or implied in the passage. Therefore, option 2 is the best choice. It is the only characteristic that is not supported by the text. I hope you have understood. The next question is, what was the second wife's quality? Options are, she helped me the merchant during tough times. She helped the merchant in his business. She made the merchant feel proud. She contributed to the merchant's wealth, and none of the above. You have 10 seconds to choose the answer. I hope you've chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 1. She helped the merchant during tough times. Explanation is in the passage, the second wife is described as a very considerate person and the merchant's confident. Whenever he faced problems, he would turn to her for help and she would always assist him in getting through difficult situations. This quality of being supported during tough times is clearly highlighted, making option 1 the accurate choice. The other options do not reflect the specific role of the second wife as described in the passage, further confirming that option 1 is the correct answer. The next question is, the author has compared the merchant's fourth wife to our dash soul, wealth, friends, status, and none of these. You have 10 seconds to answer. I hope you've chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 5, none of these. And the explanation is in the passage, the author compares the merchant's fourth wife to our body. The fourth wife represents the physical self, which no matter how much time and effort we put into maintaining it, ultimately leaves us at that. The passage specifically states that the fourth wife is analogous to our body, while the other wives represent wealth, possessions, family, and friends. Since none of the provided options reflect this comparison accurately, option 5 is the correct choice. What does the author have to say about our soul? Options are that it is well taken care of, that it can give us company only till our death, that it has been ignored in the chase for worldly pleasures, fourth, that it belongs to someone else after our death. Fifth one is none of the above. You have 10 seconds to choose one of these options. I hope you've chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 3, that it has been ignored in the chase for worldly pleasures. An explanation is in the passage, the author emphasizes the first wife, representing our soul, is often neglected while people pursue material wealth, possessions, and sensory pleasures. The author suggests that, unlike the other aspects of life that can abandon us at that, the soul is the only part that truly follows us. This nurturing, and strengthening the soul in favor of worldly pursuits is a central theme in the passage, making option 3 the most accurate choice. The other option do not accurately reflect the author's commentary on the soul, reinforcing that option 3 is indeed the correct answer. The next question is, what did the merchant want to do with his third wife? Options are to buy good clothes for her, to give her away to his friends, to show her off, or to show her off to his friends, to share his problems with her, and none of the above. You have 10 seconds to choose one of these. I hope you've chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. To show her off to his friends. And the explanation is in the passage, it is stated that the merchant loved his third wife very much and was very proud of her, always wanting to show her off to his friends. This indicates that he valued her not only for companionship but also for the image she projected to others. Therefore, option 3 accurately reflects the merchant's intentions regarding his third wife. The other option do not capture his specific desire to display her to his friends, making option 3 the only correct answer. The next question is, what fear did the merchant have about his third wife? Options are that she would kill him, that she would not accompany him when he died, that she would run away with all his money, that she would not look beautiful anymore, and the fifth one is none of the above. You have 10 seconds to answer. I hope you've chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 5, none of the above. And the explanation is in the passage, the merchant's fear regarding his third wife is specifically that she might run away with some other man. This indicates his anxiety about her loyalty and the possibility of losing her to someone else, rather than any of the fears listed in the options provided. Options 1, 2, 3, and 4 do not accurately reflect the fear he had about his third wife as described in the text. Therefore, option 5 is the correct choice because none of the other options capture the essence of the merchant's concern about his third wife. I hope you understood. The next question is, what explanation did the fourth wife give for not accompanying the merchant when he was dying? Options are she wanted more money, she did not give an explanation, she wanted to marry someone else after the merchant's death, she was afraid to go with him. The fifth one is none of the above, and you have 10 seconds to choose accordingly. I hope you've chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 2. She did not give any explanation. And the explanation is in the passage when the merchant asks the fourth wife to accompany him in death, she simply responds with no way and walks away without providing any explanation for her refusal. This lacks this lack of elaboration on her reasons is emphasized in the text, indicating that she does not justify her decision. The other option either suggests motivations or reasons that are not mentioned in the passage, making option 2 the most accurate choice since it reflects the fourth wife's direct response without any explanation. The next question is, what does the phrase cut like a sharp knife as used in the passage mean? Options are injure, bleed, dangerous, hurt, and none of these. You have 10 seconds to choose accordingly. I hope you've chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 4, hurt. And the explanation is in the passage, the phrase cut like a sharp knife is used to describe the deep emotional pain the merchant felt when the fourth wife rejected him. This metaphor indicates a strong sense of hurt or emotional anguish rather than a physical injury. The imagery of a sharp knife suggests a sudden and intense feeling of pain, which aligns with the idea of being emotionally hurt. Option 1 and 2 relate to physical harm, which is not the focus of this metaphor. Therefore, option 4 is the more appropriate answer as it captures the emotional aspect of the hurt the merchant experience. The next question is, what does the phrase like a bolt of thunder used in the passage mean? Options are like a very bright light, like a pleasant feeling, like a loud noise, like a shock, and none of these. You have 10 seconds to choose accordingly. I hope you've chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 4, like a shock. And the explanation is in the passage, the phrase like a bolt of thunder is used to describe the devastating impact of the second wife's response. When she tells the merchant that she cannot accompany him in death, this expression conveys a sudden, overwhelming feeling of shock and despair that merchant experiences upon hearing her words. While thunder is associated with loud noise, in this context, it primarily signifies the abrupt and jarring emotional reaction, making like a shock the most appropriate interpretation. Therefore, option 4 accurately captures the meaning of the phrase as it relates to the merchant's experience. The next question is, why did the first wife offer to go with the merchant when he died? Options are because she loved him, because she was afraid to stay alone, because she hated the other wives, because she was undernourished and was going to die anyway, and none of the above. You have 10 seconds to choose accordingly. I hope you've chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 1, because she loved him. And the reason is, in the passage, the first wife is portrayed as loyal and dedicated to the merchant. When she offers to accompany him in death, it reflects her deep love for him. Despite the fact that he had neglected her throughout their relationship, her willingness to be with him at his time of need underscores the strong emotional bond she has for him. The other options do not capture the essence of her actions or motivations as described in the text. There is no indication that she was motivated by fear, hatred, or sense of impending death. Instead, of her offer to accompany the merchant is rooted in her love for him, making option 1 the most accurate explanation. I hope you understood. So this is all about this session. Thank you.